Hi, and welcome everyone to a new episode of the Blade Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Durden, and I'm here with my co-host,
Blake Williams.
And we are joined by our co-guests,
Brittany Hall and Whitley Clifton.
And in today's episode, we're kind of just giving a recap of 2021 and talking about upcoming things in the new year. We'll be talking about national headlines, biggest things that happened in 2021. We'll also be talking about some local things that happened in 2021 as well. But before we jump right into it, I'd like to show everyone this new mug, if you guys can see it, the Blade Podcast. We're going to think about selling these in the future for anyone who wants them, but we're also going to be giving some away if you can win a game of trivia that will start, I think, beginning of next year. Probably. Is that right? So we're going to do trivia games on the Blade Podcast show on Facebook. If you're not already following the Blade Podcast on Facebook, we'll also be promoting the page on Emmanuel County Live, and so join in and see if you can win some trivia. So to jump into it, let's talk about the first thing that happened at the beginning of this year, which I kind of forgot that happened, was at the beginning of January, the storming of the U.S. Capitol. That was a really, a lot of people don't talk about that, but that was actually that was really crazy.
Yes, the storming of the Capitol was very, very, very alarming to the whole world. It definitely took us off by surprise, but we made it through, so there's that.
That was honestly, people don't really, like I said, people don't talk about it too much, but the fact that
actually happened,
that is a lot of people were able to invade into the Capitol building and sit at people's desk. I saw this picture, it was on Twitter, of someone sitting at Nancy Pelosi's desk with their feet on it, and I'm just like,
were they?
Yeah, why wasn't security? And a lot of people, and I won't delve into it too much, a lot of people have conspiracy theories and saying that certain people inside allowed this to happen, which, in my opinion, I hope so, because I hope our security isn't that lax, because if that was terrorists or someone, because that kind of for other parts of the world that may want to, do bad things to this country, that could, show that our security is not that good, and they can kind of get away with a lot of things. And a lot of people did get arrested, but a lot of people did get away with it.
Yeah. One thing that caught me off guard, I think the most, is that there was security there, and in one of the videos, it actually portrayed one of the security members running up to the gate, opening the gate, and motioning people to come in.
I think I did see that.
That was,
There's a whole lot into that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that has not, it's just very surprising. It's hard to put your finger on exactly what went wrong and who's to blame, but we do know and can confirm it was a major chaos.
I agree. And they say that, Antifa and stuff like that was involved, and, so who knows?
I heard that it was all one big conspiracy thing just to throw people off. Who really knows?
I agree.
Another thing that happened was, obviously, new president, Joe Biden's in office and stuff, so that's pretty neat. Another thing that a lot of people don't know about, which I'm just going to talk on briefly because I don't know too much about it, was NFTs. And I know you guys said you didn't know too much about that, but from my understanding, it's digital artwork that has a source code or something, so you can find it's like a painting, the Mona Lisa, right? The one that's in the museum, the original Mona Lisa. You can tell they can date that to the original, that's the original, right?
Yeah.
And the original's worth more than the reprints. And so that's how it is with NFTs. You buy digital artwork, and if you have the original, which is, they're worth a lot, hundreds, thousands of dollars. Maybe, I think one sold for $1 million not too long ago.
Wow.
And they are it's a lot of people think it's a money laundering scheme or whatever, but it's just cryptocurrency type stuff. People, I've seen people buy some for they had $1,000 and they bought one, they flipped it the next day for $46,000.
Oh my gosh.
People it's insane what that is, and I don't know too much about it, but that happened this year, and that is a game changer. I'm sure if it keeps becoming a big deal, a lot more people will know about it, but it's still a lot of unknown to it.
Yeah.
Not too long after that, do you remember when the cargo ship got stuck in the Suez Canal?
Yes.
That was I don't even understand how it happened. I saw a video of where the ship, the tracking, It showed like the ship go like this way, and then it like tried to turn or back. I don't even know what
Yeah.
it did, and it got stuck, and it like stopped like the entire canal for like I think a week or so. So I don't know, but that was. So it was kind of stupid, to be honest. It was kind of like I was like, how do you manage? How do you manage driving a ship that big?
You have one job.
Exactly. Let's see. SpaceX did some stuff this year. They actually recovered a Starship prototype for the first time. So basically, I think they sent a rocket to space, and they were able for it to land down and like not crash.
Yeah.
So they could like reuse it.
That's really cool.
Which was really crazy because it's like you can easily get a rocket into space for it to come back and land.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of
Did you see
skill.
they like found a new Earth?
I did see that. Yeah, no, I posted it on Facebook. It was it's like 200 trillion miles away,
Yeah.
but it's pretty much almost like Earth, and they might have habitable life there, which is
That would be so
really
cool.
interesting. So like I don't know how they found it, considering it's 200 trillion miles away, but the fact that there's something out there that's very similar to Earth is really interesting, and I'm sure within the next 5 years we'll know even more information. So in May, the glorious Delta variant became official, which sucked because I know a lot of people who passed away from that. A lot of people who got it was not fun at all in the slightest, but that happened this year, believe it or not. It feels like a long time ago, but that came out in like May, around May 31st, I believe.
Well, on top of that too, to make it local.
Yeah.
You know, the hospital, didn't they like plant a tree?
Yes, they did do a tree planting ceremony on Arbor Day. In celebration of National Arbor Day, there was a tree planting ceremony hosted by the Glad Garden Club at Emmanuel Medical Center, and that tree was planted there in memory of all of the people who died from COVID, as well as members of the community who were affected by COVID and survived, and their family.
Yeah.
So it was a very cool event.
Yeah.
That was really good. Did they do it like, was it like a big in-person thing? Or did they like,
It was in person, yep.
That's nice.
Yeah.
In July, Jeff Bezos, I think at least at the time, was the richest man in the world by a long shot, right in front of Elon Musk. He and 3 others went to space.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so that was
Interesting.
that was really crazy at the time. And I think the Taliban, that whole thing, I don't even know too much about that, but the whole Taliban taking over, I forgot which country it was. I think it was Afghanistan?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. That's alarming to say the least. But
that really hit home to me on a it's just worrisome, you know, how we went and fought there for many years and then they pull it, and then all of a sudden, I mean, they left a lot of stuff. They left the airplanes. They left all kinds of things
a lot of
that
stuff
they did not need their hands on. But what matters most is that we're able to rescue the American people from there, as well as the refugees that were trying to flee from Syria?
I think it was. Yeah.
I have a friend that's in the army, and she had to actually get deployed to another state to take care of refugees, and the stories she said were crazy. Like, there were some really good people, there's also really bad people.
Yeah.
And she felt really bad for the good people because the bad people made them look really bad, but like people, like, they gave them, like, you know, water and juice and stuff for the babies.
That's
they gave it. What's really sad is they gave formula. They didn't know how to use formula. Because they don't really.
What were they using?
I don't know.
That's so interesting. Which I guess it is more of a.
They're not quite as advanced as the United States.
No, or at least the part where they came from, but. They didn't know how to use formula. Some of the, like, growner kids were trying to take it and drink it like milk, essentially. It was a lot of stuff. Not good stuff, but you know, I'm glad the good ones were able to come here and, you know, hopefully have some little bit more of establishment now.
Yeah.
But that was a lot, and that was only in August.
Yeah.
Which feels like a long time ago.
Yeah, and then 13 soldiers.
That was very, and in fact,
yeah.
they were actually recognized at a local level. There was flags displayed down at the Pine Brooks Park, I believe it is, Pine Brook Park. And then they also just did a Memorial Day tribute to them, I think.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but they did pay tribute
I think I
recently
heard something
to
about that,
them.
yeah. I saw this post, it was a bar. It was like the day of or the day after, and they put like 13 beers out for them in like American flag. I was like, that's American.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and then I think the last thing, or last big thing that happened this year on a national level was the Astroworld Tragedy. I don't know if you guys are too familiar with that. But that whole event was just, I don't even know. If you guys aren't familiar with what that was, the rapper Travis Scott, he had a concert, I forgot where, I think maybe California somewhere, maybe. I could be wrong. But he had a big festival, and a lot of people stormed the gates to get into the concert, and it created a big claustrophobic event where people were shoving and pushing, and a lot of people had like anxiety attacks, and some ended up having heart attacks because of it. Like, it was just so much going on. And, you know, it's just a really unfortunate event, and there are conspiracies about it that it was like a demonic thing. Some people are like stretching it to be like a demonic ritual sacrifice.
Yes.
It was crazy. But some of the stuff that, you know, the rapper uses for like stage prop, you know, kind of his whole shtick kind of looks satanic in a way. It's like an open head, and you enter in through the mouth. It's really crazy. But that was going on. A bunch of people stormed in, but one of the big things that I pulled from it is that before before every concert starts, you have music that they play in the background.
Yeah.
Well, for like 7 hours, they had this whole thing going like all day, and for 7 hours they had like fear frequencies playing, which a lot of people can associate frequency sounds and music to like emotions, you know, like healing, relaxation, and fear. And so they had like really upbeat like bass like fear frequencies to make everyone's anxiety go up, which made everything worse when everything happened. So it was really bad. But the worst thing was you know, I wasn't there. I don't know exactly how true it is. I've heard many different sides of the story, but a lot of people, this girl, she was screaming that someone died, and Travis Scott did not acknowledge it. He barely stopped the concert. Like, he didn't do anything in his power to like care anyone died, and he even like put out probably the worst apology I've ever seen of anything. He was just like, oh man, I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry those people died, that sucks. It was terrible. It was not a good apology at all whatsoever, and that was just a horrible event for many people that died. A lot of people were hospitalized. It was terrible, and I think I think it's going to crack down on a lot of like concert security, like events and stuff, and really.
What I've heard on the matter is that the building or the location they held the concert at was not capable of holding as many people as
there were several thousand
tickets
over
sold. So I mean, that right there alone should be a lesson. You know, don't push the limits. You know, and I mean, in certain situations it's fine, but I mean, this one was a fatal result and multiple fatal results, and it was could have been prevented. Very much so.
Just a horrible tragedy.
I hate it.
All right, so let's talk about some of the local stuff. You guys know more about it than I do, so why don't you guys talk about some of the things that happened in town this year?
Well, Brittany, I think we are definitely capable of telling them a whole year's worth of local news. And in fact, I encourage all of our viewers to check out this week's edition of The Forest Blade to get an entire rundown from January to December of last week of all the events that have taken place. Front page highlights, newsworthy stuff. But we'll get into that later. We'll just touch base on the new stuff. So I'm going to let Brittany pop off something first. Go ahead.
Right before that, I just want to mention this. That's December 29th release, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't need to be
December 29th is the weekly newspaper release that she's referring to. So
Sorry,
if you guys are watching this at a later date and you look back on it, feel free to find a copy, come up here, and I'm sure we'll get you guys a copy if you really want to see it. So
That's right.
Go ahead.
Well, this year the Forest Blade turned 160 years old.
Wow.
And I wrote up something on it, and there it'll be in that edition. To honor the 160 years that we've been here in Emmanuel County, we had a lot of different little celebrations every month.
Yes.
There were a bunch of different contests starting back in January of 2021. And we recently gave a $1,600 check to the contest winner of this month.
For December.
Yes, December. It was huge because the other contests were only $160 to honor.
You said 1,600?
1,600,
The
yeah.
grand final prize, end of the year prize, we set it up at $1,600. So everyone who played throughout the year got $160 each month. Not everyone, but each winner per month. And then this month, as the big final shebang, we did the $1,600 thing. But we didn't make it easy. We had to make them use their mind, be creative, and they had to make artwork out of newspaper copies of the Forest Blade.
Oh, that's what that was. Wait, who?
Yes.
Which one won?
Mallory Smith.
Smith won this year. Yep.
And what was hers?
She did the farmscape. It would be really cool if we could put it.
Yeah.
We should get it and show. But yeah, she did the farmscape, and there were tons of super talented people who
of really cool ideas submitted.
things that I would have never thought of.
I saw the swing one. That one was cool.
Super cool, and it had lights on it.
Yeah. Wow.
There were even some earrings put up there. They were
Yeah.
really
Saw
cool.
that.
Talk
That
about
was
a
good.
fashion statement.
I
They were
know.
really cool.
I
But
should
the detail put into this month's winner with the barn theme was phenomenal.
Insane.
I mean, yeah.
And
Be
it
sure to
really-
check out the December 29th edition of the Blade for a photo of that, as well as the other submissions made.
And it really, I feel like that one also, just to add to it, it touched home
Yes.
a lot, because while they were all the people were really talented, everything looked great. Mallory's, it was just, I don't know, when you look at it, you just think of, everybody has a picture of that type of scenic view.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Someone here has that in the back of their mind. So, really
For
cool.
sure. What's another thing that happened? I think so. Did anything happen at the beginning of this year?
Absolutely. There's always something going on in Emmanuel County, but let's talk about the changes in office, guys.
Okay.
There was a new sheriff welcomed into town this year. Sheriff Jeffrey Brewer. He took the place of former Emmanuel County Sheriff Tyson Stevens. Sadly, Tyson Stevens later passed away this past year too. We still send our condolences to his family. He was a major community staple throughout his years as sheriff.
Yeah,
He had a
absolutely.
very long tenure in office. Also new in office is elected officials Trip Fitzner for district attorney.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then there was Magistrate Judge Stone Brady. We also seen changes in elected officials that served on local boards, such as the city council. DJ Davis took his seat and was sworn into office, I believe, at last month's city council meeting, maybe this month's. And then the new mayor will be welcomed into office in January.
Next week, yeah.
Next week, absolutely. So we'll be welcoming Greg Bennett as the new mayor of the city of Swainsboro. And we want also touch base on Charles Schwabe, right?
Yes, Mayor Charles Schwabe. He actually finished his term as mayor after 16 years.
Yes.
And I remember when he got elected, I was a little kid.
Yes.
So he's been in the office for...
It's going to be sitting in those meetings that we go to each month. Is definitely going to feel different going in there.
Yeah.
It's not seeing Charles sit in his normal seat. It's, it's changing history, but
I know.
it's gonna be good. There's always changes, and change is always good. It just takes a little while whenever you're used to seeing certain people in that capacity not be there anymore. But we do appreciate everything the mayor's done for the city of Swainsburg, and we look forward to what Greg Bennett has to offer the city of Swainsburg as well.
I'm excited for like all the changes that he's going to bring, because if you guys at home have not seen the interview I did with him a few months ago, I did an interview with him before the election, and he talks about all of his plans. So if you're not really familiar with Greg or what he's going to do, I recommend checking that out. I want to say it's episode 2. I think so. Yeah, episode 2 on YouTube and on Spotify. So if you're interested in that, give it a listen. It's pretty long. But if you just want to skip through it to, see what he has to say and all that stuff, definitely give that a listen. So, I'm trying to think. What,
I forgot to mention earlier, too, that we also welcomed a new superintendent for Emmanuel County Schools. Dr. Judy, Dr. Kevin A. Judy, entered into retirement, and then Mr. Scotty Hadaway has since filled his capacity. And he's been doing a really good job leading the schools. He's also implemented some of the things he's brought from his past experience at other schools, and it seems to be picking up great here in Emmanuel County. So
that's wonderful.
So another thing that happened this year was the Pantry Festival. Now, which was that the 174th and a half? I don't know, because I know the last year, 2020, got canceled due to COVID. Yeah. And so they wanted to come back this year, and it was really good. It was a really good this year.
Yeah, it was really huge, which is always a huge thing. But the fact that we had to miss a year, which has never happened before.
It has not.
We really had a good time with it this year.
Yeah, they had a lot going on. The that entire back parking lot was just filled with stuff.
I know.
Really good food too.
Oh yeah.
It was. I could have stayed there and ate like all day. I'm not even gonna lie. So.
Everyone always loves the Pantry Festival.
I know.
And this year's was the 74th and a half.
Yes.
So next year's gonna be really big because it'll be the 175th.
Yes.
And another festival that came around for the first time this year was the Cotton Blossom Festival in Twin City.
Yes, absolutely.
And it was for Twin City's 100th birthday, right?
Yes, the city of Twin City celebrated its centennial year this year.
Right.
Meaning that the Twin City has been established for 100 years now.
That's crazy.
So, yes, there's a lot of history in Twin City. There used to be 2 towns merged into one, and that's what you know as current-day Twin City. There's also, the city did a year-long event.
Yeah.
They had plans made for each month.
Mm-hmm.
One including a groundbreaking. They did a revamp of a local park in Twin City. They did a Christmas event, and then they had their
mural.
Also, the mural. The very first festival they've had. They've been on a roll, and they've been celebrating their 100 years very, very well this year. Another popular event that's been going on other than the regular 4th of July is hosted by the Swainsburg JCs. Thanks for all that they do to the community, by the way. Everyone showed up for the Swainsburg fireworks, and they did great. Adrian also had their own event, and I believe Stillmore did. And then Christmas time brought in lots of celebrations, in case y'all missed it.
Yeah.
Anybody missed it, there was celebrations everywhere, just about in the county.
Every week there was something happening.
Yes, bouncing from place to city all throughout the county. It was really cool. So.
We love to see it.
I know.
Yes.
I think were you about to say something?
Well, I was pretty much going to say whoever was in charge of putting the new lights up in town, kudos.
Yes,
to you.
I think that was
beautiful.
I think that was a bunch of businesses working with the chamber.
That
I think
looks amazing. Though.
Whoever was involved with the lights, thank you so much, because it looks amazing. And if there's a way that those could be kept up year round or something, like that, I think that would bring life to downtown. To be honest. Because I know coming down the street, when you can see, uphill in the city and you see the lights, it adds character to the city. And I think that should either be something that's, there the entire time, or, I at least want to see it again. And I think that's something that'll happen, because there was a lot of effort and money put into it. And so I don't see why they would just, all right, we'll take it down and never do it again. You know what I mean? So
I hope that it'll stay up. I know, like, when I first noticed it, my sister and I were coming back from Statesboro with Highway 80, and that's all you could see. And
Yeah.
I felt like a little kid seeing the
I
fair
know.
for the first time.
I know.
It was
I love
awesome.
it. I love it.
And I think one of the biggest things is we had a bunch of ribbon cuttings this year. I don't know how many,
Yes,
but there were quite a few. A few of them not here anymore, but we still have a bunch of new places that are still like
Absolutely.
in business, and I think that's really good because the city's going to grow. And I think within the next year or two, it's going to grow even more. I know there have been talks about a bunch of new places opening up, a bunch of business ideas. One myself I presented. Won't get into that too much in this podcast, but I'm really excited to see.
Yeah, Swainsburg's growth. The city of Swainsburg has seen a tremendous amount of growth this year, which makes for a strong local government and strong community. So we welcome all the new businesses, and we look forward to what's not yet to come to the city of Swainsburg and the other cities located in Emmanuel County.
Yeah.
So there's that. Another big highlight for Swainsboro is the Car Community Theater.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
that's a big thing.
That was just actually one of the most recent ribbon cuttings held.
Mm-hmm.
That was featured just recently this month in the Forest Blade, and it looks phenomenal in there. They have the Arts Council portion in there. That's where they did the ribbon cutting at. And then in this week's edition of the Blade, there will be a short little bitty read on another grant received
Yeah, I did hear
for
about that.
theater repair work to be done. So this should be allotted towards the entrance facade area, getting stucco and so. Or no, they did stucco last time, but yes, renovations are almost complete for the local theater, so that'll be another big attraction here in Swainsboro for the locals to
Definitely.
enjoy.
I'll be so excited to have it.
Absolutely. So we welcomed our new superintendent this year. We've talked about that. The Carr Community Arts Center, Pantry Festival, really excited about that. And let's see, Swainsboro Fire Department, they received a new ranking this year. They went through a extensive audit, or not audit, but they had people in there and come check out the area, how they performed, whatnot, and they received really good rankings and good reports on that. So not only does that make our fire department look better, but whenever they get a new status on class, as far as what they rank or what they're ranked on, it lowers local insurance policies and what they have to pay. So it not only benefits the department, it benefits the people they serve because it makes the cost of living in certain areas be cut.
Wow.
It's really awesome.
And to talk about the next year, do you guys have any New Year's resolutions?
I'll probably lose weight for about 2 hours.
Okay, that's a good one. So, what about you, Brittany?
I really don't know. I don't like doing resolutions. I know that sounds terrible, but I feel like I'm just not committed. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always breaking them. I just want to be a better person. I hope I'm a better person all the time. Every
That's
day.
good. That's good. Just a yearly reminder.
Yeah, just a yearly reminder. Be a better person, Brittany.
That's good. What about you?
Mine is my New Year's resolution is to be more timely and stop with procrastination. I know we can all get a laugh out of that.
Yeah.
But
honestly.
to further my intent on sticking to this, I want to go ahead and start planning for the current, the present, the future, all that. Make things smoothly. So let me just go ahead and give everybody who has an upcoming birthday in 2022 happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy
I told you
birthday.
first.
We're
New
getting
Year
things out of the way.
resolution on the verge of being met.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're
That's
not bad
awesome.
people. We're just busy.
So, I think that's about it with,
Wait, though,
recap.
what's your New Year's resolution?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't-
Mine. I forgot about mine. My New Year's resolution is probably just to work out more because I've been slacking, and I don't know. I think just to be able to further my career and my life, I guess. You know, once I get my degree this next semester, and then maybe move out. I don't know. We'll see. But I think just to be on top of what's the word I'm looking for? Just kind of be productive, you know, in everything I do.
That's always good.
So
Apply your best and be your best.
yeah. So.
Has anybody here had any good stories from this year that they would like to talk about? Like one good, crazy, awesome, different thing. New.
I can't
I
think
went
of
to
anything.
Florida for the first time.
Well, that's
Wow.
big.
Yeah,
Okay,
Panama.
Okay, awesome.
I can't really think of anything.
Nothing really big happened this year.
Did you just
I became an
saw-
uncle. I guess that's something.
That's big.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
big.
That is
That's
something.
Yeah,
big.
that is something. Yeah, it's not really involving me, but I became an
It
uncle,
does
so that's
involve
cool.
you.
So
Yeah, that's really cool.
true.
I always have something happy and good to say, and
Yeah.
upbeat. So I'm not going to entertain this because we don't have the time for me to sit here and go into detail. We really
Right,
don't. We
yeah.
don't.
So
Because if I get started on one story, another story is going to get thrown in there, and then we might not even make it back to the very first story at all.
yeah, you're
So-
right. So I think next year Swainsburg turns what now?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
turns
upcoming.
200 years old. It was founded in
Yeah.
1822 by Stephen Swain. And yeah, Swainsboro is going to have a birthday next year. It's going to be 200 years old.
Dang,
Small
Swainsboro
city
is
of-
pretty old.
Yeah, the city of Swainsboro will be 200, and we will be 161.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
They
not
will be
us,
Blade,
but
the Force
The
Blade.
Blade.
The
Yeah.
Force Blade
So-
will be 161.
Well, that's something we can look forward to next year. Everyone at home, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting this podcast. This has been a great first start. Really new in the year, but I'm glad we can close off with this episode. And there's going to be a lot of stuff planned for next year. Like I said, we're going to start doing trivia on Facebook. We're going to incorporate some stuff on here, on this YouTube channel, if you're watching on YouTube. Or if you're not, go to the YouTube channel because we're posting a bunch of other videos that aren't podcast related. We just did one for Christmas where we bought a bunch of people's groceries with the help of our sponsors that gave us money to do that for our community. So we have that going. We'll have a few more videos as well. So stay tuned for those because those are really fun to do and really entertaining to watch. And I think for the rest of this year, we're going to be doing a bunch more interviews. I have a few lined up, including Sean Noble's, Leanna's, and more with Greg Bennett because that's very important. I think what we are going to hope to do is to interview Greg pretty often as mayor and kind of give like a update on what's happening in the city. So the community is pretty informed on what's going on, what changes are being made, because, I mean, it's very important to the citizens to know what's happening in their town. So stay tuned for that, and
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New
Happy
Year,
New Year.
everyone.
Happy birthday. Happy
Yeah.
anniversary. All of it.
happy everything. And,
Merry Christmas. There you go.
as always, have a great day.
That's right. Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.